Music saved my life because my house was a freaking mess. It was chaos, you know? And I wear the banner proudly. Kiss Double Platinum was the record that hooked me. And then I went backwards to Led Zeppelin and Jim Morrison and forwards to, I'm a wealth of shitty hair metal band information if you want to have a conversation after. But it literally saved my life. It was a place I could escape to that I wouldn't be bitched at, judged, you know, fill in the blank, fill in the blank, fill in the blank. And when I think about how I consumed it, my favorite thing to do was to record it. I'm going to date myself. Casey Kasem's Top 40 on WIXX radio, and I had a Panasonic mono recorder, and I would sit there and pirate music off of the radio, and then I had a portable version of it that I could take wherever I was going to go. I also spent a lot of time in a treehouse escaping from my crazy parents. And it wasn't about the audio quality, it was about where it took me. It was about where that music transported me. And that's one of the irreplaceable components of this. How many of you guys in here hear a song and go back to some place where you first heard that song? That is a power unlike anything else. And so, you know, and the rest of my story is a long and winding road, but this whole idea that when you get bit by something that hard, you just want to be close to it. That's all I've spent my entire career avoiding a suit and tie and trying to get as close as I could to that thing that I could not define. And I remember the first time there was a band that could have been fucking enormous. Do you remember, you were here when this, do you remember the Eric Hamilton band?
Yeah.
So the two crazy ass, they were the Glimmer Twins, they were the Lennon and McCartney, they were whack as hell, but they had something. And I remember, you know, you toil in the studio doing whatever it takes to make the rent, right? And then you get to work occasionally on a magic thing. And I remember one night, Eric came in and he was incredibly creative. I mean, shit just fell out of that guy. Every time I turned around, he had a new song. I was like, God. You know, and he came in and he had this thing. You could see it on him. You know, when he walked in, I'm like, oh, here we go. And so we would just roll tape. So we had an open mic in the studio, and we were actually making the record, but he was like writing. We kept bumping shit onto the record because he was just in such a mode. He wrote this song called Home Together. And he literally walked in, I could see it on his face, I hit the DAT recorder. Did I say DAT recorder? And I went out there and I watched this song just fall out of the sky. And the next night we recorded it, he did the vocal in one take. And the next 2 nights later, they were playing 12th and Porter, and they were packing that place. I mean, you could not get in there to see that band. And I watched that song be played live for the first time. By the second chorus, the whole fucking place was singing it. And it's like, and so all of the 2 years prior to that of working on every shitty, crappy demo / you don't belong here, but you know, this producer's going to take your money / you know, whatever. All of that was all wiped away in that one sort of event of watching that song literally fall out of the sky and come to life. And so for me, I'm always chasing it. You know, even when I was running a company with 4 offices and 100 employees working on all these, you know, whatever, it was all about chasing that thing. You know, and you'd think I'd grow up. I'm 45 years old, I have a brand new baby. You know, you'd think I'd just, fuck, I'm never gonna, I just can't help myself. I'm still chasing it. And I've had, you know, everybody and their brother, including my father. I remember when I graduated from college and got a job offer, and he said, so you're going to cut your hair and, you know, do the right thing? I'm like, no, I'm actually going to go on the road with a metal band. And I'm not taking this job, and I'm not cutting my hair. And I think that's what you're talking about, this idea of, you know, if the music business is hard, but every business is hard. And so I remember a guy told me, if you can not do music, don't, right? But if you can not do music, then you just need to jump in with both feet and just play whatever hand you're dealt, because it's either there or it ain't. And the people who have it, you know, some of them die miserable and lonely and broke, but a lot of them don't. And it's such a great thing when you're in the middle of that thing, when you find that zone, you know, and you're there, and it's like, okay, all the shit that it took me to get here for this 5 minutes is worth it. And then you play for the next 5 minutes.